boys. Thank you so much for watching us tonight. I have to say that I've been quite busy recently, so I couldn't post many videos, but the other day I got a gift. They gave me a book, a very interesting book that I'm reading now. And I thought, well, it's gonna be quite fun if I'm reading this book because it's quite funny. The name of the book, it's called Very British Problems. And as I said, I'm reading it right now and it's so fun. So today I'm just gonna read a little bit. It will be a soft reading for you guys. So I hope you enjoy it. And we're gonna start. Let's go. British people when they're doing some shopping and start like this. Saying hello to a friend in the supermarket, then creeping around like a burglar to avoid seeing them again. Standing back as if you just activated an old World War II bomb at the assistant goes to verify your age at the self-service checkout. Well, thanking someone for letting you go first when you were already ahead of them in the queue. Yes, that's very British. Hoping you didn't come across as too monstrous when you told the shop assistant you were just browsing. Trying not to be rude when you have 28 items in your basket, no bag, and are asked if you need a bag. Feeling obliged to put a product in your basket after trying every sample, then depositing in a random shelf and hoping you're not arrested. Okay, I done that one. Not correcting someone they mistake for they mistake you for a sub assistant. Yeah, that happened to me actually just a couple of days ago. Thinking the gas point for a pesto in your money. Accidentally ripping off 2 tickets at the delicatessen counter and make a split-second decision, leave town immediately. Apologizing to the cashier for not having your own bag as if you have been in an affair with his friend. Finding someone examining the goods you need in the supermarket, so pretending to inspect another item until they leave. Worrying you will be suspected a thief if existing and so without making a purchase. If exited. Being very dramatic about taking your phone in and out your jacket so it doesn't look like you're pocketing chocolate bars. Being incapable of placing your items on the counter in a negotiation without saying, yes, this please. Deciding against a bag of crisp as you have nothing smaller than a tenner and you don't want to cause any bother. Only ever saying thanks and you're welcome and whispering volume during the placement of the next customer place divider. Consider handling yourself in despite the shop alarm having nothing to do with you. Yeah, quite like that. Patiently queuing in a queue that turns out not to be a queue at all. Feeling guilty using a bag for life that doesn't match the supermarket you're in. I'm so guilty, I have to say that. Loudly tapping your fingers at the gas point to assure the queue that you have asked for money and the weight is up to your hands. Not taking the last of anything in the supermarket in case someone else needs it. Feeling embarrassed to have nicer food than the person behind you at the checkout. The child yes, or to start entering your PIN number before being prompted by the cashier. Yes, many times. Realizing you have entered the wrong establishment and having to pretend to look around for a bit. I've been there before, 100% sure. Well, let's go to the next chapter, which is keeping calm and carry on. Failing to understand someone, begging their pardon 3 times and then just nodding and smiling. Falling over and apologizing to the person helping you up. Translating carpe diem and treat yourself to a slightly more expensive loaf of bread. Saying you're pleased with your haircut despite the deep inner sadness it's causing you. That's so true. Telling your doctor you're feeling a bit better, so as not to question the treatment plan. The desperate moment on realizing you're out of milk when you scan the kitchen wondering, is there anything here that I can be made into milk? Lying in a star safe for a bit and laughing after sleeping over to let everyone know you're absolutely fine with what just happened. Feeling you need a change in your life, so treating yourself to a completely new type of cheese. Saying left and right at random rather than admit to the optician that all lenses seem identical. Assuring your hairdresser that the water temperature is fine despite a strong suspicion that your scalp is beginning to melt. Looking yourself in the wardrobe until you're certain that the window cleaner has finished and left. Going to your doctor and replying, I'm fine, thank you, when they ask you how are you. Saying it's nothing really to indicate you're seconds from losing consciousness. Pressing the pause bell and stop too early, lightly and continuing your journey on foot. That happened to me today. Oh well. I inexplicably lying about seeing the match last night and praying you don't encounter any detailed question about it during the ensuing conversation. Worrying how we will end any major celebration with Paul McCartney isn't around to sing Hey Jude. Feeling awful at your desk and hoping you will be told to go home, yet replying, I will survive, when asked how you're feeling. The moment everyone hears that you have just accidentally ripped your newspaper in half during a especially vigorous page turn. So, the next one is gonna be about food and drinks dilemma. Being prepared to argue to the death at any given moment over the correct method of making tea. You can have a conflict here in the United Kingdom. Panicking in a sandwich shop and allowing a distressingly odd combination of feelings to happen. Trying your hands behind your back to stave off the temptation to pour the kettle violet. Feeling very nervous about the appropriate level of meat preparation to request from a butcher. Discovering a wet spoon has recently entered the sugar and vowing not to have guests around again for a while. Having condiments in your fridge that you can bring yourself to discard despite them first being open when that was imposed. Feeling very uncomfortable lying to the sales account about how many of your own bags you seen someone you know walking just ahead of you, so stopping dead in the street until they are completely out of sight. Well, a bit over exaggerating, I would say that one. Spending your life is squeezing past people you never once completed the sentence. Excuse me, sorry, do you mind if I just. Being unable to turn and walk in the opposite direction without first talking on your phone or throwing it at it. What a stories. Thinking that giving a stranger some direction is better than none, despite having no idea where you have just sent them. Oh, that's happened to me. That happened to me when I first moved to England. Back in the day, I couldn't speak English very well, so I asked for some directions because I was applying for a job and I was late for an interview. Well, I was just in a rush, so someone told me, "Oh, just go straight down and you will find that the street." And guess what happened? That was a completely wrong direction, so I arrived like 25 minutes late. So by the time I arrived to the interview, they were fuming. Not surprised. Coming face to face with a fellow pedestrian and break into an impromptu ops, we have moved to the same side street dance. Turning to find the person you have been talking to for the last couple of minutes, stopped to look in a shop about 20 meters ago. The fear of suspecting you might just have placed some rubbish in the rough type of bin. Yes, that's classy. Finding yourself walking at the same place as a stranger, so immediately hurling yourself through the nearest sub window. Knowing you just received your incorrect direction and getting off that anyway, so as not to cause offense. Expertly turning a trip into a gentle jog. Seeing a friend further down the pavement and ignoring them until they are near to avoid having to do a wave. Laugh mini joke for any longer than necessary. Okay, so let's go for the next one, which is public house hazards. Going to a pub to use a loo and pretending to look for a friend all the way into the toilet. I think everybody was there. Being required by law to have a pint and a fry up in an airport, regardless of the fact that it's 6 a.m. and you fancy neither. The embarrassment of the barman disappearing out back to answer you, curious regarding the establishment crisp flavors, when you already know full well you're ordering ready salted. Only ever carrying 2 empty glasses back to the bar, using the index and middle fingers on one hand to show you're a professional. Oh, yeah, this is hilarious. The fear of placing 50 pence on the edge of the pool table and the stranger playing, saying, "You can play the winner." Calling a square foot of concrete a beer garden. The crushing disappointment of saying, "Oh, whatever you're having," and ending it with a coffee. Having to open your bag of grapes to the whole table, regardless of personal hunger, providing a ration of 2 per person. Yeah, I think we all been there before. Well, as I said, this book is called Very British Problem. It's a very, very funny book, and if you guys like it, just let me know.